There's a knocker, a bopper, a knocker like the boppers. They love me, they show up, get the bitches, the benzos. The reason I got her, the cha-cha, we slid. The reason we got you, the hoppers, the coppers. Get no love, get nada. The blocker get hotter and hotter and hotter. It's in me, so they envy. Try reaching for the watcher. The go blocker, and blocker. I do this, it's not I your baby mama. It's like a baby, give me papa. I'm on the Iggy with on the la. I call it Lady Gaga, my roster. Don't let me get messy like Costa. The movies I made them with the Oscar.
Good afternoon, good day, good evening, good night, as I should say, as always, man. It's always a pleasure to hang out with hang out with Turf Talk, man. I'm TRAVON Smith, left and right hand, man. The most important pieces, Coach G, Coach Dennis. We got a special guest tonight. Can't wait to chop it up. Coach G, we usually start with you. No, let's start with you so we can have Coach Dennis lead into the interview and then get back to you. Coach G, talk to us a little bit. We always do a recap of what's going on with the youth football and what's going on with young Gary Bryant.
That's right, man. Salutations, my brother. A new day, new way. And, I wanted to say something in regards to dealing with the youth. I feel like all of us adults, we have to make sure that these babies are being the best versions of themselves each and every day. Either we raise today's leaders or tomorrow's nightmares. And, I wanted to bring this up. Something happened on the football field that, it kind of bothered me. One of the kids was putting another kid down. And I think we as adults, and even kids, we have to understand that words are like magic. There's like casting spells. That's why it's called spelling. And, there was this test, a kid bully test. And they had two plants. One they talk negative to, one they talk positive. And at the end of a week, the one that was negative died, the other one lived. So that just shows you the power of the tongue. The Bible says the tongue is like a sword. So I think when we start talking, we need to be very mindful of things we put out there. You know what I mean? But, I just wanted to say that, I think we all have to start thinking about things that we say. But in regards to my football team, everything's coming together. We're about to get out there and start banging. GB, he came out here, Father's Day, it was a blessing. Got to spend some time with him. His frame, he looking big.
Yeah. Hey, I seen his frame. He looked good. I was like, okay, he didn't shed some of that little baby fat.
Right. Yeah, he look real good. And before I forget, I want to give a shout out to my dancers, my cheerleaders, DDC, their dance company. These girls are off the chain, nationally ranked. We got a cheerleader crew, so I want to give much love to them too. But other than that, man, it's a blessing, bro. I woke up, you woke up. It's a beautiful day. I feel blessed.
Yes, sir. And for the people that don't know, Gary Bryant always checks in about his son, GB Jr. up at Oregon, and he coaches GB Ducks down here in Southern California that will be traveling to Oregon for their first game in Oregon Stadium. So stay tuned with that information. Coach Dennis, Coach Den getting it in. How's it going, man? Just talk to us. You always check in with the Centennial updates. Now we got 2 Cen10 updates. We always get complaints about the Cen10 updates. So go ahead, Coach Den, because everybody say we biased. So go ahead and give us the update.
As you should be. I feel biased, so I'm not gonna give you the update tonight. I'm gonna let Kat.
Okay,
I'm gonna give you the update. I'm gonna give you the update on Drake. Drake's been doing well. He came down for Father's Day as well. I got to hang out with Lil Gary as well. So I don't think you call him Lil Gary. I remember I first met him, I used to call him Bird, but because he had this little bitty bird chest. But now, hey, that boy chest look like a goddamn eagle. So you know what I mean. Hey, sitting out there. So then my son, he surprised my other son yesterday at his game. He showed up at his game, and which was amazing. It's so funny because like him and another old SC player, Brandon Goforth, he came out too as well because his little nephew played. So we had 2 NFL players out there. It was pretty cool. And, yesterday we just hung out. I don't need no presents, nothing, man. As long as I'm around my kids, that's a gift to me. You know what I mean? And it was a blessing, man, just to be around my kids and stuff.
That's
definitely. Right. How many yards did Dak have yesterday?
He racked them up, big dog. I think he only had 2. He only had 2 touchdowns, though.
Hey, see, both y'all getting us in trouble because I posted Dak's touchdown, and now we get all these little DMs with all these kids' touchdowns. And I said, man, we don't do all that, man. We just keep it focused on high school. But today's guest, man, I can't wait to talk to. I want to say the future of the Huskies for the fact that I see the player connection, and now on the coaching staff, the man I see, and I've told Gary this, and I think I haven't told Coach Cat this, Coach Cat from Centennial. I actually get a chance to watch the wide receivers, and I don't know if he knows why I watch the wide receivers, because I have a son over there, Lil Kamani. So I watch the wide receivers, but I see him going, like, showing the wide receivers A to Z. And that's something, like at Centennial, it's kind of like, you got to kind of know what you're doing over there when you come into the program. But I see him taking steps to show these kids A to Z, and I compliment you on that. And I got a chance to talk about that with Coach Gary. So with no further introduction, Coach Cat from Corona Centennial. How you doing, Coach?
Let's get him a good intro.
Gary always give you the intro. We can't hear yourself. We heard you before. We're going to make sure you get that good intro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. And I love how he connects with the youth out there. You know what I mean? It's coaching. Some people feel like you inherit a good player and you just tell them go out there and do what you do. He actually coaches. I love that. I love it. You know what I mean?
It's definitely something I know Coach Dennis knows firsthand, but I'm still learning. I was just on the sideline. I got to see him, and I see it. And he actually spends a lot of time with the wide receivers, whether they're vet wide receivers or new wide receivers. He spends a lot of time with them as far as coaching them up. And I've had a chance to watch him. I always sit on the visitor sideline. That's my thing. I sit on the visitor sideline, so I got a chance to watch over there. But Coach Cat, how you doing today? That's crazy because we heard him when he said we supposed to be Cen10 biased.
Right. right. Man, right.
All right. We here though. We ain't going nowhere.
Hey, and this ain't the Illuminati for the people out there, for the viewers out there. This ain't the Illuminati doing that. When you start seeing this on the podcast, people are like, oh, something's going on. They're watching them. They're doing this. Nah, man, we're doing what we do, man. We're doing what we do.
Here we go. We see if this one works.
Right.
I think it's saying audio. Here we go. Audio connected.
This is our 16th year doing the college showcase, so it started in 2008. Goal behind it is to individualize each kid and give them the opportunity to showcase their skill.
I got it, me. ATG, say what up to the mic, right here. Oh, what's good, man?
Guys that we have currently, Corey Butler's a senior for us.
We're gonna get the showcase right. We're gonna have a great day, compete, all that.
He walked away with 5 scholarships after his freshman year at this event. When Coach Logan started the showcase, our quarterback at the time, Taylor Martinez, received a scholarship offer to Nebraska. And became a Hall of Famer there. When you think about guys in the NFL now, so J.J. Taylor blew up at the showcase playing multiple positions, running back, receiver, DB, received 5-6 scholarships that night. Cameron Bynum put himself on the map, and now he plays for the Minnesota Vikings. 6, 7, 8 years later, it's put them in position to be in the NFL or to be high performers at the college level. I'm expecting anywhere between 50 to 70 coaches here tonight. 3 years in a row where we've had double-digit scholarships given out.
This is one of the biggest days of the year because, as you can see, there's so many scouts here. This is the day you got to come compete.
It's just an exciting event and an amazing opportunity for our kids to earn themselves a scholarship.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So without no further ado, hey, if you've been around the Cen10 family and you know what's going on, this man played quarterback. But I'm gonna let Coach Gary. Coach Gary is our intro man. I just want to kind of introduce everybody looking at the screen, saying we got a fourth member of Turf Talk. Hey, more than welcome anytime. But Coach G, you have your intro for him?
Yes, indeed, I do. I want to put it like this. It was once said, your greatest asset in life is your own life experiences, and the road towards success is always under construction. Real value is not about what you have accumulated, but how far you can go without. This young man once captivated the high school arena with Coach Logan's up-tempo, high-powered, no-huddle offense, which often left defenses clueless. 100% hound. Did I happen to mention he was only 4'8" and 159 pounds? A genuine mover, giving merit to the phrase excuses are for losers. You have butt backs, and then you have your musties. This young man is a certified kennel-bred Corona Centennial Husky. He earned a title such as a California All-State First Team All Riverside Pac-12 Division, barking
Hey,
what's up?
Okay, G, you pulled the stat book out for us. We didn't know that.
I for sure had the best intro out of anybody else. Appreciate you, GB.
You can't say we didn't know that. Hey, I watched this guy coming up, so
hey,
I know everything as well.
I know a little. I didn't know the stats to the T. You know, it's always good to have a stat man and make sure
he must have hit up my dad or something because my dad's got him on cue.
I got him on cue. Hey, let's start with Coach Dennis. Have you tap in, talk a little bit about Coach Cat and what you see that he brings to the offense, because I have my own thing just sitting on the sideline. I pay attention to a lot. Coach Dennis, start us off. Talk to us. It's the man you're on the field with.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I feel biased, man. Like, because I've been knowing him like since he didn't literally play like for me, but I was one of his coaches. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just where he is right now, and it's I mean, it's a blessing, man. Just to see like the young guys come through, man. We need that fresh breath of air. You know what I mean? Like we've been doing it our way for a long time, and just to add a new flavor to it. I can honestly say Cat is out there adding a new flavor to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Okay, I like that. Like I said, I tapped in before I handed it over to Coach G. I got to see Coach Cat from the sideline, and I seen him explain in the detail. It doesn't matter if it's a vet wide receiver or a young wide receiver. He explains it the same. He's the one out there throwing the ball. He's the one out there walking the footsteps. He's the one out there with the hands moving. So I got to see a lot, and I see a young coach in the guru making. And I know if they put him in the mesh pile with Logan, it's about to be something dangerous. Coach G, I'm gonna let you tap in before we get to him.
Right, man. You know, Cat, I want to say this, man. It's such a blessing to have you on this show. Like always, you know, we have a very, very good rapport. I love what you do. And to all the viewers out there, I just want to say he just purchased a brand new Rolex watch because it's his time.
Okay.
And, I had to, Cat, I had to go foster bone deep on you, man. I read it. You graduated from Azusa Pacific with a degree in psychology, and you're headed to getting your master's, or you already have an organizational psychology. And I want to say that is such a blessing because it's bigger. He was a student athlete, but now he's actually following up. And I believe your coaching venture with the Centennial started in 2018, where you guys went 12-1, but it also came up that you coached at Crespi High School as the OC. I did not know that, Coach. I did not know that, you know. And I think my first question for you is this. Who was your hardest opponent and your most memorable game? Those are the questions I have for you, Coach, because you guys are putting wood on everybody. So you guys are putting wood on everybody.
I think now that as a coach, it's definitely, modern day.
Right.
They give us some extremely difficult challenges with how talented they are and the scheme that they run. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
So good. Yeah. So modern day for sure. Just with the talent again, like I said. But when I was playing and thinking back, I always thought De La Salle was the hardest team to ever play. Just because they were so well coached. Their dudes didn't make mistakes, and it didn't matter if it was a guy that played in the NFL like we played against that they had, or it was the guy that didn't play after high school. They were going to do their job, and they were going to do a really good job at it. And so I think that's just how things have changed over time, is that the South has definitely rose to the top in all aspects, and now across the country, as if you win down here, you're probably the national champion. So I think as that's changed, the landscape, modern day has really taking advantage of how things are now.
Okay.
Right.
Coach, I want to tap in. I want to ask, you played under Coach Logan and now you coach with Coach Logan. Can you talk about just like the similarities or the differences and things going on from then to now as far as your aspect?
Yeah. I think, as everyone will probably say when they come back and watch their coach or they see players play at their high school, the players were always bigger, faster, and stronger back then. And the coach was always meaner, and now he's Mr. Nice Guy. So I think getting to work with him as, you know, a colleague or a partner, rather than as a coach, I get to see his purpose behind it and how genuine he really is. Like, I think, and anyone that works with Coach Logan knows that he's probably the best man they've probably ever met. He's just a really good dude, and cares about everyone the same, and treats people fair. So I think that's the light that I get to see him now under. And I think that's really helped my perspective on him, and just reinforcing that, you know, this is where I want to be, and there's no better person to learn from as I develop as a coach or a teacher in my professional career. So it's been awesome.
Coach Dennis, before I pass it on, can I follow up with, can you understand now from being that player to now the coaching, how you lay the chess moves or lay the bricks, as you know, they call him the Jedi Knight over there, why he does certain things? Do you have a better understanding of that now, and or you had a better understanding, you know, as a player as well?
I think looking back as me as a coach, I never thought I was going to be a coach and teacher, no matter how much my mom told me I was going to be one day. I bought in, like, from day one. Coach Logan, and I have a great dad and great relationship with my dad. He taught me everything about working hard and all these things. But Coach Logan was the first person that I met that, like, okay, not only is he a great man and I love being around him, but he loves football like I do. And so he was like that first role model to me that I was like, oh, like, I really like and understand this. Like, okay, I get how he's doing this or why he's doing it. And that might have been the coach in me. Like, I remember as a quarterback in our system, like, I would run the walkthrough and I memorized everything he put in order, and it was just because it made sense to me. But now just seeing how he runs his program and how organized he is, like, people talk about, you know, Centennial offense and how great it is and how fast and it looks so easy. But what makes Centennial in the culture is that he's so organized, he's so structured and disciplined, and he's not going to change. Like, he's going to be, if we're going to get this done, we're going to get it done. And we're going to follow a plan to a T. And I think that's what I most importantly needed for my career and development. But it just makes so much sense to me how organized he is. And so that's what I enjoy the most about being around him.
Yes, sir. Coach Dan.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit y'all with a couple of few nuggets that you didn't know. Coach Cat went to Southern Utah, and he also coached in Ivy League as well. So I want to ask you, you know, for a lot of kids, because I know a lot of times when you were coming up, you heard that you were undersized and this and that. Give us some insight on like just how do you get where you are today now?
I think number one is you got to sometimes have a little bit of an ego and a chip on your shoulder and believe in it. Like I had two awesome quarterbacks that played before me at Centennial, and they were undersized guys. And you know, now with our quarterback today, I think he's the best guy we've ever had at our school. But Robert Weber was the quarterback before me, and I mean, you talk about a guy that threw for 10,000 yards in his career and 100 touchdowns. Like, he was amazing. And, you know, he wasn't heavily recruited. And so that was like, okay, you're just going to follow in this path, and it is what it is. And no matter how great I thought Robert was, I'm like, no, I'm going to be the next one. And, you know, we're going to go play Mater Dei. We're going to play Bosco, and I'm going to prove it. So I just always had that mentality. And for me, it was never about going to college. And I think that's what's changed now in our society, that everything is about getting a scholarship and doing things for the, you know, the external rewards. But for me, like, I always just wanted to be the quarterback at Centennial. Like, that was just normal for me because I grew up there. I went to games when they first, you know, got on the big stage in 2007, and my neighbor was an offensive lineman there. And so I just wanted to be there. I never really thought about college, but once it was like, oh, you know, I can be pretty good at this and do this, it was like, no, why wouldn't I want to reach for the highest level? So I think just having the confidence, number one, to just not care what anyone else thought, whether that was my own coaches or myself, like, no, I'm going to prove it, is number one, how I got there. But then just marketing and doing everything I could. Like, I tell kids now, because I try to help them with their recruiting, is like, I sent thousands of emails. Like, I still have my email from high school. And if I go, like, and I didn't have the knowledge back then to realize, like, well, schools on the East Coast that are FCS or D2 don't recruit California. It's just the way it is. But I was still going to send them an email. and find them on Twitter and do everything I could. Like I found, I was just having this conversation today. I found that Southern Utah needed a quarterback a week before signing day because they offered another kid in Southern California. So they offered that kid, and then Sac State offered him as well. And I'm like, well, I think I'm the best quarterback available down here, and there's 2 schools that are taking a California quarterback. I'm going to call their coaches and figure it out. So
right.
I just did everything on my own to try to figure it out. And I had some good people in my corner that would vouch for me, but yeah, I just think I put everything in my own hands. Like I didn't want to rely on anybody else. And so I think that's just how I got to that point in my career as a player.
Right.
I know we had an opportunity to do we did a unofficial visit to Southern Utah, and we got to see Cat up there as quarterback. But I just want to let you know, man, you inspired like a lot of our boys, even my son. You inspired, and he's like, I can't wait to go to college, man. Because he got an opportunity to see a guy that he played with, and he was in college, and he was like, man, Dad, I can't wait to go to college. But you inspired a lot of kids that time too, man.
I appreciate that. And that means a lot to me. That's why I do this. So just want to help kids.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, it's Turf Talk. We're talking to the future Cen10, a player turned coach up there at the football factory, as we used to call it. I don't know if they still call it that, the football factory.
It should be. It should be.
It's definitely because they generate football players out of there. Talking to Coach Cat. Coach G, you want to tap in?
Yeah, Coach, I want to say this, and I want to piggyback off what Coach Big Dan said. Your journey is just so enlightening. I always say rule number every day: don't wait for opportunity. You got to create opportunities, and you went out there and did that. I always tell my kids every time we see, man, that guy right there, that coach right there, he has records in the gym right now. And I have a young man on my team. His name is KJ, smaller guy, but you give a lot of people inspiration because look what you did. Not too many people can put up stats like that, and you went up there and handled your business. But I do want to know this. What do we have to look forward to for 2024 with the Huskies? And then one more thing, because I had asked Coach Negro this in regards to the pregame. Do you guys kind of plan accordingly to the team, or you just take each game the same way?
So I think your first question for us this year, I mean, we're extremely excited about our team, and I hopefully projecting like this is going to be the largest Division I class we ever signed in our school's history. If some guys can stay healthy and put a few games out there on film to kind of reel in and make sure these offers are committable. But that's number one and most important, is whether their goal is to just be on the team, play on varsity, or go to college, like help you get to that point. Is the ultimate goal, and so that everyone feels included. But no, we're extremely talented in the senior class, and our young guys are going to have to see some really good players early, but we don't care about who we play early. It's about being the best team in November and December. So we're going to play the hardest game to get guys prepared, but we feel extremely excited about our offense. We return a lot of offensive linemen that are very big and physical, and I think this is the best core of receivers we've had in our school's history. And you pair that with in my opinion, I've seen all the quarterbacks. I think we have the best one in the country. So when you combine all of those things from an offensive perspective, it's pretty exciting. And, it's just on us as coaches to allow them to be in position to showcase themselves and prove it on Friday nights. So that's our projection for the year. And then our defense is going to be what it is. We're going to be extremely aggressive, and we don't care if you score a touchdown here and there. Our goal is to be extremely physical and, play the 4-quarter game, hit your quarterback, and, stop the run and make you one-dimensional. So that's kind of where we're at as a team. And you just got to get healthy this summer. And, we got guys all over with visits and things like that. So once we get back from our mandatory dead period, we'll be ready to go. And so I think that's where we're at for 24, just trying to get better in the summer. And, for me, we prepared the same. And I think everybody will say that. I think we're extremely detail-oriented in terms of how we break things down and, the numbers that we want to make sure we know. But it's a lot of work on the front end too. We play a lot of the same team, so it's not like copy and paste, but we know what we want to do. So we feel like we can dictate and control the outcome of these games. So however teams want to play us, we feel like we have an answer for it and we've practiced it. So it's just a matter of, what they like to do and how we can take advantage of their tendencies. But we'll prepare the same every way. If we're playing a great team, we're going to be in there all day. And if we're playing a team that's struggling, we're still going to be in there all day to make sure that we cross every T and dot every I. So
that's right.
Yes, sir. That's definitely the Centennial way. I want to recap a little bit about what you were saying as far as you particularly reaching out to colleges and and just emails and that's the grind. I want to ask you the difference that have you seen from when you played to now, because more kids think like it just comes to me. It's like, like I'm gonna show up to practice the first day with Cat. I'm gonna run a post and everything, and I got 3 scholarships on the side. It doesn't happen like that. Can you talk a little bit about just from playing your day and to the attitude now, and maybe even how the coaching staff, I don't want to use the word caters to it, but kind of like understands where society is at now with these kids, or does Centennial say, nah, this is our way, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah. I think we're still this is our way. Like, I'm still a believer in that. It's about what you do on the football field on Friday nights, number one. So you can get offers that are projected based on what you might be, but at the end of the day, I want our kids to be their best headed into college, not early. So I understand what early scholarships can do, and some kids are deserving of them based on their talent or their size or what they project to be. And there's relationship offers. There's all of that. Just because there's so much access with social media into these coaches now than it used to be. Like, that really started to pick up when I was in high school. Like the YouTube, the social media, the recruiting, like that was like new. Like, I remember, like, I have a buddy that plays in the NFL. And, we thought he was a good player, but he's like posting scholarships as a sophomore, and we're like, is that like a real thing? So I think that's definitely changed now. But the kids are still, I think the kids haven't changed, just the environment has. So they're still funny, they're still goofy, there's still kids that are mature, there's still kids that aren't, and they still have a good time. It's just what their access is now. So there's just so much more. I can see this, or there's relationships out there that spark their recruiting. So I still believe in our way, though. Like, we have players, and just speaking in the now, like, we have a few players that haven't really played much varsity football that have committed Division I scholarships. And that's just because when coaches come to our school, they know, number one,
they know what they're getting.
Yeah, it's a product that's been proven. Number one, Coach Logan, myself, any of our coaches are going to tell them the truth. If they're a guy that doesn't show up the weights on time, we're going to tell you. And if you're a guy that works really hard and we trust and think he's going to project, and maybe he just didn't have as much film or he had an injury or whatever, they're going to trust us too for the most part. So the way we practice, and when those guys see them in the spring, like, that's enough. So you just want to be your best when you're a senior. And, you might not be a national level recruit, but at the end of the day, it's about when you get to college. And if you're a dude, you can transfer and go do that. So it's a really show me kind of world that we live in. If you're that good, well, you're going to be able to transfer there. And if you're not, you're going to transfer down. So it's about what you do in high school. It's about what you do when you get to college. And I don't think much has changed. There's just more access now.
Got you, Coach. Coach Dan.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'm kind of shocked to hear that you said that you never want to coach, or you never wanted to be a teacher. But because I see you, man. Like literally, I see you. You're in the gym at one time. You're in the passing out uniforms one time. Or you're in the office. You're getting guys that their classes they need. I mean, like you wear so many hats, and like I see you, man, and I'm like what made you really like want to get to where you are right now?
I think just finding something that not necessarily that I could be remembered for, but I just want to make an impact. And I didn't want it to be all about me, because I felt like if I was just going to go work a 9-to-5 job or get into the corporate world or something, that's just a job. Like, I'm not impacting anybody. It's just for a paycheck. Or if I'm, I coached in college for a little while, like, even doing that, like, I felt like that was for me. And, sometimes you want to be selfish and do things, but at the end of the day, it was like, what impacted me in my life and allowed me to want to make a difference. And, in the college ranks, I didn't feel like that. I felt like, you know, the most predominant years of my life and where I enjoyed being around my friends and where I grew the most was at high school. And I also didn't feel like, even with how amazing Centennial was, in my experience there, that I wasn't quite ready for college for some reason, for the lifestyle or the way people treated you, just because my whole life in football, I was treated so amazingly, being around Coach Logan and everything. It was like, I didn't feel that same thing when I got to college. And I was like, I got to make sure kids are ready for this, because my whole life was football. It was all wrapped around that I was a quarterback and I was this and that, and I didn't have to be. I could just be me that played football. And so I wanted to make sure kids knew that kids were able to chase their dreams, whatever that was, whether you wanted to play in college D3 or be the best guy in the country. Like, there's a place for you. And so that's just where, you know, my heart is at, is to want to help people and make an impact, because I had so many great people through my experience at Centennial that helped me. And I never thought I was going to go to college. I never thought I was going to be a college quarterback. Like, I was the first person in my family to go to college, let alone play sports in college. So now I'm walking away just because of football. I have, you know, undergrad degree and a master's degree just because I could throw a ball a little bit. And it's like that. How could that impact someone else's life? So I just want to, because I had a great one, and it was like, well, how about someone that doesn't? Like, how can I help them, you know, get to this point so they can be successful?
Coach G.
Yeah, you know, I want to say it's so much bigger than football, but Big Dan hit it spot on. You wear so many hats. But Coach, I want to ask you, what is your pregame ritual right now as a coach? I've been asking all this. I want to know, what is your pregame ritual?
I don't really have a crazy one. I was very superstitious in my playing days. Like, I had to eat like, my mom would bring me the same meal. I'd eat it at the same time. I wouldn't eat anything else after like 1 or 2 o'clock. Like, I didn't eat team meal. So like, I would get super nervous all the time. It didn't matter if we were playing someone that was 1-7 or we're playing in the state championship game. I had the same meal, the same thing, the same time. I mean, I was like nauseous to a T, like before the game. And so nothing really changed for that. But in my coaching career, I kind of just go with the flow. And I think it's because, like you're saying, I wear so many hats. I might be, you know, in my room getting ready for a meeting, and a freshman, you know, forgot his knee pads because we just pulled him up, and I got to make sure I go grab him. Or someone in the booster club needs something, or our social media team doesn't have an extra chair. It's like, I'm just around and my phone's blowing up all day. So I don't really have a time to have a ritual, just because we got things that got to get done. So, you know, Coach Logan's out there setting up, you know, sponsorship banners before the game. It's like, you know, Centennial is the best, but if I've learned from Coach Logan, if I'm not going to do it, probably no one else will. So I'll make sure it just gets done. So I'm too busy to have a ritual or do anything.
That's right. That's right.
And that's definitely, you know, other high schools get mad, and we talked to a lot of coaches, and I said, man, just go spend one practice at Centennial, and you won't ever have to explain why Centennial is who they are. They practice fast, and it's organized. And there's even organized chaos from what I've seen from the sideline. So I've seen things on purpose. I understand what everything is going on. I've seen at least 150 practices. So I almost have it memorized myself. But other than that, we talking to the young guru, the future of Centennial, the player to coach right here, Coach Cat. And Centennial is the football factory. We get a lot of complaints because, you know, we do a lot of Cen10, but we all on the sidelines over there. So, hey, deal with it. But other than that, I do got one request. Inside the 10-yard line, this is what I want. I want either offensive lineman that releases, or a tight end. I mean, a tight end or a wide receiver that lines up close, blocks down, and releases. That's all. I want to see that one day. I want to see that one day when we in the 10-yard line. I like that a lot, but I love everything over there at the football factory. Coach, then you want to get us out of here, or you want to we get all these complaints from all these other schools talking about we cover Centennial too much. Coach Gary, you got anything?
Yeah, man, I want to say this to everybody out there, man. The body has limitations. The mind doesn't. Write your visions down. Writing creates thinking. Thinking creates images. It's the visionaries who often control the world. Now, if you're going to reach your destiny, you must have a made-up mind. Most importantly, do not let adversity be your brake pedal. Peace, love, and happiness to everyone. Coach Cat, it's beautiful, baby. Hey, thank you for coming on here, and looking forward to seeing you out there again. Do what you do, baby. Hey, what they say, bring them out, bring them out.
Hey, we definitely
appreciate you guys, man.
No, we appreciate you, man. We can't wait for this.
Seeing these two guys, it's awesome. I mean, I was a little too old to be a teammate of Gary's, but like what makes it awesome to be back at Centennial and things like that is at the end of the day, like I've seen so many kids grow up in our community and go do some spectacular things. Like I was at Centennial in my 4 years there, we've had probably 10 plus NFL guys, and it's not all about the NFL. I think it's about what you learn and, learning like our things are, we're going to work extremely hard. You're going to give great effort no matter if you want to. If like everything you do is to the best of your ability, whether you're the best guy, the worst guy, you're going to be a communicator, you're going to be organized. Like those are the things that we're trying to, translate to these kids to be successful. And, it's not just because, Gary is at Oregon or Drake's playing in the NFL. Like all those kids' stories, it means like the world to me to just go see my buddies playing in the NFL or in college or successful now. It's like, that's what makes this worth it. So it's just amazing to see and, have this community. It's a little Centennial bias in here for sure, but that's why if you knew what Centennial was about and came and saw it, you'd understand too. Everyone likes to talk like they're about that, but our program and the way we do things, it's doing something right. So that's why it's been able to withstand for so long. And that's a credit to Coach Logan and our administration and everyone that's been a part of it, families and everyone that supports us. So it's great.
That's real.
Definitely shout out the GOAT over there, Matt Way Logan. We appreciate you over here. And thank you, Coach Cat, for checking in. We appreciate everybody. Turf Talk. Hey, we try to bring you guys these coaches and get their perspectives. And I think tonight we got a great perspective of Coach Cat. Appreciate you, Coach Cat.